This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Well, let's see how happy you were to have Bill Watts at the September 24th event in Saginaw, Michigan. Vince would announce that at a team meeting that Bill Watts is now in charge of the creative aspects of Titan Sports business. And Vince would say that he's stepping back to act more as a company executive. And while he will oversee Bill Watts, he will not overrule him. Of course, it only took a few weeks before Watts, apparently taking those words seriously, was overruled and felt like he didn't have the authority he expected, and he quits the company. And the week is now filled with rumors about the fraying relationship between the 56-year-old Bill Watts and Vince McMahon. Meltzer would write, rumors started in midweek that Watts had left the company after a blow up with Vince, which were immediately denied by the company. Apparently earlier in the week, perhaps on Tuesday, since that's the day the company does voiceovers for syndication, there was a blow up involving Watts and other company employees, not involving McMahon, who was busy doing television announcing voiceovers for syndication. And it was all over his office not being ready. The rumors quickly spread both in and out of wrestling that Watts was gone, or according to those close to the situation, Watts had quit, but was quickly talked out of it. And others were saying it was just simply a disagreement, not involving Vince in any way. Either way, Watts was still working on Wednesday and Thursday before officially quitting on Friday after a meeting with McMahon. Among the wrestlers, the belief was that the quitting was over the two having a disagreement about the future of the creative end of the company regarding WrestleMania 12 and after that show. Others, who probably would be more reliable and have a better read on the situation, claim it was simply a matter of power and authority, and that booking, things like who would be on top or the style of wrestling in the ring, had nothing to do with it. Watts wanted to make major changes within the company in regard to the discipline of wrestlers, perhaps similar to when he was in WCW and became such a popular figure with the boys, instituting fines for being late to the building, wanting heels and baby faces to be kept apart in public, and wanting the wrestlers to get more serious about their house show matches, including banning playing cards in the dressing room before the matches, because he felt the wrestlers could spend their time being better with their opponent and talking about their match. McMahon apparently felt the system was running fine as it was, and the discipline was not a problem amongst the wrestlers. Watts, who thought he was going to have full authority over this aspect of the business and be the number 2 person in the company, when he found out he wasn't, immediately resigned on October 13th. And during a shoot interview with Sean Oliver over at kayfabecommentaries.com, Kevin Nash told the story how he told Watts that, up here, I eat you on the food chain, while putting him in his place backstage. Did you ever hear about this story with Diesel? What do you remember about the blow up with production on Tuesday? And ultimately, why did he leave on Friday, as best you understand it?
There was no blow up with production on that Tuesday in any way, shape, or form. There, Bill was Bill. And I had to chuckle. There was somewhere in there where you said that he was a popular figure.
Well, that was
WCW.
Clearly tongue in cheek.
Yeah, because I can't remember a time that Bill was ever a popular figure backstage, with very few exceptions. But, Bill came in and Bill heard what Bill wanted to hear, and Bill wanted to hear that he was second in charge and that he would have final say. It's Vince's company. Vince is the boss. That's what makes the company go round, is that the buck does stop somewhere, and the buck stops at Vince McMahon's desk. And Bill wasn't fond of that arrangement and thought that he was the one guy that could change it and be the end all be all and have power to do whatever it is that he wanted to do whenever he wanted to do it. That just wasn't going to work. So Bill had a blow up with Lisa Wolf. He had a blow up with some other folks. Came over because Bill was working with Pat Patterson and myself, and Bill came over, wanted to quit, and we were like trying to talk to Bill and telling him to calm down and chill out and just talk to Vince. Don't let this other shit get in the way of potentially, your job. And I know Bill, wanted to just be right. Bill wanted to be able to say to anybody in the corporate structure, hey, fuck you, you're fired, get the fuck out. That's not the way it works in business. And it wasn't going to work here. So Bill stayed a few more days, and I remember getting the phone call, and he said, guys, I just quit, talked to Vince, I'm driving home to Bixby right now. And took his rental car, took his Ford Taurus, and drove from Stanford to Bixby, Oklahoma that night. But it was Bill being Bill, and Bill not wanting to accept that anybody had power above his head, and he wanted autonomy, and that just wasn't going to happen. I always laugh whenever I hear the example of playing cards in the locker room, because that happened at a live event in Boston. Bill and I actually rode up to the show together, and when we got there, I had never played gin. And all the boys played gin and all this shit. And Jerry Lawler was sitting there and all this stuff. And Jerry asked me, he goes, you want to play a game of gin? And I said, I don't know how to play. And he said, well, I'll teach you. So Lawler and I are sitting in the dressing room and we're playing gin. And Bill came in, and I remember exactly where the fuck we were sitting and everything. Because Bill came in the door and Lawler and I were sitting there playing gin. And Bill said, he goes, hey, Jerry, I want to talk to you about your match. He says, all right, let me finish this hand. I'll come right in. And that went up Bill's ass sideways. So next thing you know, we get back on Monday. Bill sends out a deal company-wide into all the talent. No more, like a whole list of rules. You couldn't play cards in the locker room anymore. All this other shit, the kayfabing and everything else. And Lawler calls me and says, hey, do you think that was us? I said, I know that was us. And so, yeah, Lawler and I were responsible for the card playing thing.
It's a good little sidebar.
Yeah, but it was, come on. I mean, we literally finished that hand in a minute, and Lawler went and talked to him.
It feels like at times Bill Watts could be like the type of parent who would say, why? Because I said so. Yes, definitely.
He definitely was. And it was his way or the highway in his mind. There wasn't an alternative way to do things. If you brought up something, the answer was no, because it wasn't his idea, and that wasn't what he had fucking laid out for tonight.
Let's talk about the Kevin Nash quote. What do you make of this? Up here, I eat you on the food chain comment.
I don't, obviously I wasn't there if Kevin said that. I was there for Kevin and Sean, being very gracious to Bill. Anything you need, man. Hey, let us know. We're on your side. We want to get better. Whenever you got any ideas for us, man, let us know. And we'd love to shoot stuff by you and everything and work with you. So I don't know.
But I mean,
I wasn't there, so I have no idea whether Kevin said that or not.
When Kevin's there with Bill Watts, he's working like the stupid Vinny Vegas gimmick in WCW. So he's like Captain Undercard. And then when Watts joins up with the WWF, well, things are different. He's the champ now. He's got Vince's ear. Could you see Kevin Nash saying something like that?
I don't know. I frankly, I think that Kevin, would have been smarter than to say something like that. I think Kevin's too good of a worker. I think Kevin would have worked him. I think Kevin would have been, Kevin's a charming son of a bitch.
Oh, one of the best ever.
Yeah. So to me, I could see Kevin, trying to charm the pants off Bill.
Unless he tried to pull some of the old cowboy Bill White stuff where he's going to puff his chest out and act like he's going to beat everybody's ass in the locker room. And then old South Detroit boy probably ain't putting up with a bunch of that shit, if I had to guess.
Not saying it didn't happen. I don't know. But Bill Watts was puffing his chest out and letting everybody know that, by God, my way or the highway, and guys would just go right around Bill and walk into Vince's office and say, hey.
You know, in fairness, you kind of, and Lord, I'm not trying to defend Bill Watts, but when they know they can undermine you like that, you sort of neuter Bill, do you not?
Well, again, I think that it was Bill's perception of what he was brought in to do. Bill was brought in to work with the creative, work with the talent. And in doing that, you're working with Vince.
So maybe to say a better way, Bill thought his job was to get the boys in line, and really his job was to get the boys over.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.